and welcome to Infamous MCP, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutalis on Discord.
This is Josh, go by Grummelzug on Discord.
Welcome back to another riveting episode of Infamous. As always, links in the show notes. We are here to talk about MCP again. Let's see. Sadly, I haven't gotten any MCP games in lately. I think the tournament was the last time I played still. Yeah.
I think that's the same for me.
Yeah, I don't think we've really had the last couple of weeks have been
not last week
shit for games.
Last week, but the week before, I think CJ and I played one. But I decided to take a break from the TTS League for the final split or whatever. So
usually, once football season starts up for me, extra gaming time gets harder because obviously having season tickets, it's a lot more work than just watching the game. And so I usually am driving the carpool to the game, and so it's a whole day affair. So I lose a whole day every time there's a home game. Plus, I've been running D&D a lot lately, and so I lose basically a whole day to that a week. Plus, the podcast basically eats a whole day. So I'm basically down to 1 day off a week.
Yes, that sounds correct.
Yeah. But yeah. So I'm planning on my next game being with Cabal. I do kind of want to try the Hydra list with Red Skull 2 in it. I think it's a good addition. Being able to take both Red Skull and Dracula, I think, would give you enough punch to eat through a lot of lists. The only question is obviously if you can keep Red Skull alive. Having sacrifice for Dracula, and if they're like together, it's nice. You can also use Dracula to bow people into Red Skull after they've activated, which I think is kind of nice. So I think it adds a lot of value, and obviously the extra contesting model is huge. The Hydra list has enough bodies to contest, but none of them want to risk dying, so a lot of them are kind of squishy for what you're getting. But being able to just suicide a model up that you have to kill is really handy, I think. Or to have an extra model to hang out in the back.
That sounds correct. Yeah.
What are you planning on playing next?
I have been really debating going back to the drawing board with Asgard. It just calls to me, and I still need to do my paint one squad a year goal.
Yeah. And
I am running out of time. But just kind of seeing if there's anything there. I've debated picking up Guardians again, just because I think I get the new Guardians box before I get the new Asgard stuff. And so I would like to be fresh and sharp with Guardians. And I haven't played them since Adepticon, because that's what I took to Adepticon was Guardians.
I think Webs come out next week.
Yes.
I don't know when Guardians come out.
So I was wrong, actually. I'm a Webs player now, so I'll be playing Webs. We're all Webs players. Everyone should become Webs players.
Well, I don't even think the new releases are really that great for them. It does give them a second way to play, which will be nice for them to get a reprieve from playing the same cookie cutter list they played for 5 years. But, I mean, other than that, I think that the competitive Webs roster is pretty well set in stone.
Yeah,
there's a few conceptual options you get, do you want to take 2 2s, which is now, I think, automatic almost because you've got an affiliated 2. And then, how many, attrition pieces do you want? Do you want to have an actual alternate to ASM for games you don't need them? I know Quentin has talked a lot about playing 2099 as a alternate to ASM in games that you don't need a vault to hold your extract.
That would make sense. Is he's a 5-threat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as playing Miles 2 and all that, I don't see that happening long term. Although, maybe, here's my galaxy brain wishful thinking. Maybe they're waiting for the Webs list to get new options before they completely change the way the old list worked. So maybe, coincidentally, the last release before Mini Extravaganza is new options for web models before they all get changed. But I know that's not going to happen.
Speaking of, I just looked it up. Mini Strav is November 15th, so we are officially
1 month.
1 month away, which is kind of nice because I feel like we generally get quite a bit during Mini Strav, so hopefully we get...
Some years
Some
years we
years.
get nothing.
But I'm hoping that we kind of get like, hey, this is what we're doing. Here's the stuff that's
Mhm.
coming down the pipeline. New stuff is always exciting. So, because we don't have, I don't think there was anything else planned for the year, was there? Was Webs the last release?
As far as I don't know what's coming out this year. I know we have spoilers through Q1 of next year, and so I just don't know what is coming out on this side of the line.
I think, assuming things haven't changed, I feel like Webs came out, and then the Guardians stuff was next, and that was like Q1 2026. So, because I think that's kind of how they've generally done it: is we get something in October, and then November, December are quiet, and then like start of the month we'll get a new thing. But I am hopeful. I'm hopeful we'll see some interesting things, because I always like new things, and new things mix the game up, hopefully in a good way. That's all I ask. So we'll see. I'll probably honestly do a coin flip. I'll be like, do I want to keep playing Asgard, which I love dearly, or do I want to try some Guardians again?
I had a lot of fun with my Go Get 'em Asgard list, which is basically just go wide with Mighty Thor, and you basically just run all the turn 1 chargers. You have like Zemo, Ant-Man, Valkyrie, Sif, and then Salt a Taste other selections.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm kind of leaning towards too. I also do want to try out Heimdall, because he is technically has a new card, and I've seen a little chatter that he's still not great, but with the range 4 now able to like reach out and do his buff, it lets you be a little more aggressive, because you can get up there and he does not have to get within danger zone
or
range.
rather more defensive.
Yeah,
because you can be more defensive while using the ability, as opposed to just getting shot to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's really needed. I think when you're looking at the realm of, I could have a 3-point model that attacks twice on turn 1 or turn 2, or I could have a model that's going to reroll 2 dice on turn 2. It's just like,
yeah,
it has to be really like make the difference on those 2 dice. And to be fair, like one of the reasons I stopped playing the Asgard list is because I kept having games where it's like I would make 6 attacks on turn 1 and I would do 0 damage. It was like, I know like you can't expect every attack to get work done. Like you're gonna have duds, but like 6, like this is not good. This is not even close. It's like, and there's like Zemo's in there. Like I have a reroll and I have my leadership. You're like, it's not like you're worthless. Like you have reasonable mods in that list.
Yes, you can actually get quite a few rerolls, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I've got my shield. I kind of packed up most of my stuff. Then I was like, I'll just never play this. It's just chilling.
Yeah.
I still have shield, and I do like shield, but I feel like I kind of solved that list to the point of interest. So
I don't think the shield list is that interesting. There's only so much you can do with shield.
It's really not. It's only my love of a solid gun line that I played it for so much. And then it turns out that when very strong characters get into your gun line, you cannot kill them. There is not enough there. You're like, okay, well, I'm just going to start throwing shitty little bodies at you and hopefully buy myself time to win out the game. So,
have you considered? Do you build Asgard lists based on like what you own and or what you like, or is there like, what is your limiting factor when you build Asgard lists? Is there none? You'll do anything that's competitive, or you want to do things that are Asgardy?
Both, but I lean towards competitive. And I am very much, when I build a list, I go in with an idea, and then I look at all the tools that I have to do that idea.
Maximize the idea,
right? So generally, yeah, more competitively. It's why I think for a while, besides my Crime Sin Asgard list I was playing, I only had like 3 Asgard models, maybe 4 in my list, because every game I was like Mighty Thor, Sif, Valkyrie, and then fill to taste with whoever I was trying to have in that game. because that's 12 points right there. So it's like another 4 threat is the 16, which is the lowest I can go, and then just fill in all the way up. I've been tempted just for shits and gigs to give Thor 1 another try through, just to see what, I haven't played him in a while. I liked him for a little bit, and then Mighty Thor came out, and just was like, why would I ever take Thor 1?
So Mighty Thor is unquestionably more efficient.
Yeah.
Right? But there's things Thor does that Mighty Thor does not do. Like he can throw size 4 characters as an action, right? Or not as a superpower. And you can only throw terrain, which is somewhat limiting. It means that all of your board control is, dice dependent.
Yeah.
Thor also staggers, doesn't he?
Correct.
Staggers on the charge.
On damage. On the charge.
On damage. Yeah, I remember that failing a couple times. But yeah, if your goal is to do the most damage, Mighty Thor is clearly better. If your goal is to be a better battlefield controller, then, obviously Thor is better. Are they the same survivability? I think Thor is 1 better.
Yes, because Thor is, I think he's 8-7, and Mighty Thor is 8-6.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the dice mod of Shibi Worthy.
Correct. He has no defensive mods.
Okay. Thor also tends to get more into the fight because he's melee range 2.
Yes.
Also, though, you can just hammer throw fucking everybody, which is kind of funny.
This is very true. With auto shock, I believe my memory serves.
Yes,
so.
it is.
Which is
range 5 auto shock.
Not nothing.
It's actually really good.
Yeah.
That said, I don't think a lot of people would be taking Thor unless you're going for the battlefield control list.
Yeah.
You could build a bunch of throwers and take Thor and heal and remove conditions and have a little bit of your Winter Guard plan.
So actually that was kind of what I was going to try with Thor 1, is just see how many throws I can take in a list and just chuck it at people all game long.
Well, if your goal is maximum throws, you're not playing Asgard. There's a much better list. 100% Avengers.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true. Save on the power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Beast gives you a size 2 throw for 3 points on turn 1.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy Avengers. But that said, I think if you did the Avengers attrition play, blitz attrition Avengers, I think that has gas. You do need to make some sacrifices to play. You need to play Zemo and Logan, which is sad that it's obvious that they're the 2 best models in the fucking game.
Yeah.
If you're trying to kill people, you start with those 6-7 points. The part that always killed me was, do you take Wong to let Mighty Thor charge on the first turn?
I have never run Wong outside of a brief actually I think it was this year, TTS League where I played Quentin's Web List. Mm-hmm. I have never played Wong just because I find, I don't know, maybe I should, but I tend to play a lot more aggressive lists, and so I was like, cool, I was bringing a 2 threat in an already expensive affiliation to maybe heal, maybe give some power, do some things.
Yeah, so my perspective on it is he's an enabler, right? So he's going to give you an extra turn of fighting with Thor. Just straight up, that's a good thing, clearly. He holds a back point, which you're going to need to do anyway, so he just allows another model to leave. And then he later in the game can heal people, which is potentially really big. Especially after a potential Odin's Blessing turn, you're like, oh, he hit you for 5 and 2, and you're like, well, I'll just take 3 instead and heal 2 of it. And you're like, fuck, that basically erased my entire activation.
Yeah.
So that's clearly good. And for me, when you're looking at, I have an expensive affiliation, adding a 2-pointer reduces the average cost of your list, lets you get another model wider that you wouldn't normally be able to. Now, that said, I had Wong in my go wide list. I think I played him once, because it's almost always well, I could take 2 3s, and so that's Zemo and, Valkyrie, or I could take, Sif and Wong. It's well, I'm clearly taking Valkyrie and Zemo, so it's very rare that I took him. It was only at point totals that didn't work out any other way.
And that's one of the tricks with Asgard is you've got some really primo models, but they add up very quickly.
I think it's mostly their lack of point diversity, because you've got your obvious 5-pointers. You've got, your Lokis and your Thors. They're all 5 points, and even Angela's in there. So there's the Odin family. It's 5 points.
Yeah.
And then you have everybody else is 4 or 3, which is admittedly 2-point totals, but Bill and Sif are kind of like opposite sides of the same coin. It's like one is a tank, one is a bruiser.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, what 4-pointer do you want to take in Asgard? And you really don't. So it's Enchantress and Loki one without a stone is Yeah. Like both of those are very specific takes.
I was disappointed.
You're basically locked into 3s at that point.
Yeah. And you convinced me. I've come around on Valkyrie. I still don't think she's great, but she's great for what she does, what I need her to do, right?
She's the 3-pointer you need, not the 3-pointer you want.
Yes, exactly. I find Scourge to be borderline unplayable, and maybe I'm just not playing it right, but every time I play him, I'm just frustrated.
He's a negative tempo piece, not a tempo piece, and so he doesn't fit in the list that we're trying to build.
Yes. And then Heimdall has pretty obvious problems. So I was a little disappointed the Hela buff didn't go farther when she first got it. I was like, oh, okay. Ooh. And she kind of popped up and I was playing her a bunch. And she did things, but over time I was just like, it could just be Sif or Bill. Sif or Bill instead of her.
I think the Hela buff was almost chef's kiss. It was... I don't want models to instantly become meta models just because they got adjusted.
That's true.
I want them to be tech choices or quality. Just flat quality, not outliers. I want models to be a 4.5 to 5.5 on a 10. And I don't need you to go touch a model and have it become a 7 or a 9 like fucking Bullseye did. I admit, Bullseye was probably a 1 or a 2 in the game. At most, he was a 2. But they gave him an adjustment, and then he was a 9. And you're like... Guys, that's not how we fix models, because now we just have to nerf him again.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, light touches, and just don't be afraid to touch a model twice is the problem. I don't know what this logic train is that these devs have had for the last 15, 20 years, where it's we got to do as few updates as possible. It's no, you really don't. We're not in the ages of you're buying stat cards in boxes that you can't replace.
Yeah.
Everything's fucking digital. Just fucking update it. Yeah.
And I've talked about it before, but I really feel like most models are 1 or 2 very light touches away from being playable and shifting things around a lot. Because there's a ton of models where I could be like, okay, they get another health, or this power costs 1 less, this attack costs 1 less, something. And you wouldn't have to change anything else on the card. I'm like, cool, this is now interesting.
Based on the fact that it was last year, right, that we just didn't get an update in the mini extravaganza, or is that the year that Ben came in? It was the year before we didn't get an update.
I think year before.
Yeah, because I think it was new core set, nothing, and then we got the updates from Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's been some sprinkled stuff this year that were about a half of the expected updates. So... I think that we are at the point where we pretty much need a massive update. There's so many archaic rules that don't work the way as the new versions of said rules work, and they've been really hesitant to update the old wordings. And so example is Mystique versus Mysterio versus Enchantress. One gets to dodge with Mystic, one doesn't. And so it's it basically just makes Enchantress unplayable because she is such a liability when getting attacked. And Mysterio, despite his own lackings, which I think is fair, I think Mysterio needs a downside with how crazy strong his kit is overall.
Yeah.
If he was speed medium and had a 5th attack dice, he would be God mode 3-pointer. Yeah. And so I think it's fair that he has shortcomings. I think all models should have shortcomings. Even 6-point models should have shortcomings.
I agree.
We don't need Namors that have every ability forever and ignore all of your rules and everything you could do to them. I want models to have counterplay. That's what makes the game interesting. If everybody is just a Paragon Space Marine, it's not interesting anymore. And so I think, though, because a lot of stuff is very dated and hasn't been updated in quite a while, because when these first started happening, with the reroll issue, they updated every model with that rule. all at once and change the way they're printing it in the future. So that issue is now gone. But they haven't done that with everything. There's several things that, like old damage reduction abilities, they're just totally different wording that are just way out of line with every other ability in the game. There's just a lot of stuff like that. And so moving into the future, it's like, are we just going to slowly go through 10 models at a time and update these older figures that have like out of date type abilities?
Yeah.
Not even counting balance stuff. We're just talking about abilities that don't work the way that the new models work. Like models that can place while they have tokens versus models that can't place while they have tokens. Mm-hmm. Now, is that just a new design philosophy, or are we actually trying to change the balance point of the game? And so with that, I think that we need to just pull the Band-Aid off and just update all of that kind of stuff. It'd be nice if we also got a balance update, but I don't think we will.
I would like a balance update. I would also, like a lot of stuff to go back and go over. Cards, I kind of like. I think the newer cards, except for the Webs ones, which have conditionals, there's a couple they just put stealth along the bottom, and it's not on the card. Like, we all know what stealth does, so you don't need to write the stealth rule on it. Just put it as a keyword at the bottom and clear up that space on the card. Good to go.
Yeah.
Go through and do that. The other one, our favorite local meta pick of Omega Red. He has that super, I was thinking of this, he has that super weird, like if you get a wild, you get to change one dice and like heal? Is that what it is?
He has Pierce on his spender, but if he gets a wild, he gets to change one of your successful block results to a blank, and he gains a power for it.
But it's like the way it's worded is it makes it sound like you get it per... okay.
Yeah,
Absorb Essence. Change one of the defending characters' crits, wilds, or shields results to a skull. This character gains 1 power for each die changed this way, but you can only do it once.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's like, what? Well, then just say you can do this once.
Yeah, and it was just like they're trying to use that syntax with all their abilities, that way they don't miss it in the future, and it's clear. But then this ability is only meant to be triggered once, because it doesn't say for each wild result do X, it just says do X once. And so it's definitely weird. Like the fact that like Magneto doesn't have helmet, kind of stuff like that. Like that's more of a balance update. I know they didn't intend for him to have it, but at the time the model was designed, no model had it, and so it just seems like an oversight now.
Yeah. And I feel like that's honestly, like I said, one of those things where you go back, you change a couple little things, maybe one per card. It's a whole new model. It plays. I consider it more. Bam, good to go. You pay the intern to type.
No, and obviously it would be great, but what we're asking for is obviously requires oversight. You can't just have some guy making changes that could dramatically alter the landscape of your game. But I think we're at the point where we need like a not a Mark II or like a second edition, but like just a balance pass or like a bringing everything up to date. A lot of the cards were designed before they knew what the framework was, right? And there's a lot of cards. There's like they've done things so much better. Like they found more elegant ways to perform the same effect. Like, does every model with martial artists need to be brought in line with each other? Like, how many different abilities do we have that count blanks? And it's kind of confusing sometimes. Like, oh, this model does it out to range 3. This model does it board wide. This model gets to do it on mystic and physical, but not energy. And this model gets to do it on non-mystic. You're like, okay, like all these are so weird. Like, maybe more standardize them a little bit more. Come up with like keywords that mean what it means, as opposed to having slightly different wording on everything. Like, I want to say Spider-Man in the core set has a different web line than the other Spider-Men.
I believe so.
Hey, let me check. It's Spider-Man #1. Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Yeah, isn't his not need line of sight?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm just checking now. Yeah, here we go. #1. Webline, push an enemy within range 4 toward this character short. Yeah, it does not require line of sight. And then Gwen... Ghost Spider says push an enemy within 4 and line of sight of this character short. Yeah. So it's the exact same worded ability. Same thing with like Adamantium Skeleton on X-23. And it's like it's the same name as the ability on Wolverine, and they do different things. It's like when that was brought up by one of our listeners, that we just assumed that it was the same rule, and it isn't. We were playing it wrong for like 3 years because nobody ever read it. Because why would you? This model has martial artists. What does that do? It means you don't take damage from physical attacks. What the fuck? Like, that's totally different. And so yeah, it's kind of annoying. But yeah, I would like to see just like a consistency pass that would go through and change a lot of that stuff. There's also a lot of like, why can't Quicksilver steal a civilian token, but every other ability in the game seems to be able to? Like, why?
Yeah.
There's no balanced reason they chose that. It was a aesthetic choice they made. It's like, oh, he's not kidnapping somebody, he's stealing an item. This makes sense. But then immediately they realize that's not balanced because it's bad, and because there's too many civilian objectives. And now every other ability that comes out can do it. But just the first model they tried it is either broken or terrible. And so yeah, it's really annoying. But, we'll see what they're going to do. I'm excited for Mini Extravaganza.
I am too. Like I said, I always like new stuff. I hope we get more things. I still very much enjoy this game. I have frustrations with it, but I just want to see new goodies. I want to see new things happening. Because that's kind of why I stopped playing the TTS League for this final heat. Is I just kept running into the same stuff and playing the same thing, and I was like, I'll take a break. Because I was like, I kind of do something every night, so I'm just gonna give myself a free night for a couple months. So
cool. All right. One other off-topic point. We were speaking at the game store. This is not MCP related. We were speaking at the game store about Old World and about how many of a unit you can take. And so the Army Builder program I use considers every type of that unit the same unit. So if you take, let's say, a rare choice, the exact example is a Terrorgeist for vampire counts. Mm-hmm. It is a 0 to 1 for each 1,000 points of roster building you're using. Yes. So if you're playing a 2,000 point game, you can have 0 to 2 Terrorgeists. If you happen to have a Strigoi Ghoul King as one of your leader models, he can be mounted on a Terrorgeist. So first question, does that use up one of your 0 to 1 slots to take said Terrorgeist? Second question, if that said Ghoul King is your general, he allows you to take one Terrorgeist as a special choice. Does that one count against your 0 to 2? And so I read every rule that Old World has today. Yeah. That question is not answered anywhere. I can tell you that right now. I also read all of their FAQs. It's not in there either. But everyone seems to be of differing opinions about this. Some people say, yes, it still counts. It's the same unit. It's just because it's listed under rare choice that doesn't change it. But other people, I would say the majority of people, say no, it doesn't. They're separate unit choices. And I tend to believe the character on Mount 1 more than the changing unit type. And so, and just to be clear, I want it to work that way. I want to be able to take as many of these things as possible. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
If it is a rare 0 to 2 choice, taking one not as a rare should not fill that slot. I think that makes the most sense. Both thematically and functionally, I think that makes the most sense.
I think if I was going to rule it, I would say the character mount is not counting towards your limit, because a mount is treated, as I understand it, as equipment for the character. So when it talks about 0 to 2 Terrorgeists, it is saying the Terrorgeist unit itself. As for you can take it as a special choice, to me, I think the 0 to 2 limit stands. You're just getting to use different points to allocate it.
Okay. So, in response to that, I would say no, it's none or both. And the reason I would respond that way is if you go to the unit section, and this is true of, I think, all the Army books, it's laid out pretty similarly, but there's probably exceptions. Mm-hmm. So you go to the unit entry Terrorgeist, And there's a box at the bottom that says character mount. A Terrorgeist may be included in your army as a character mount. If so, its points are added to the writer's cost. When taken as mount, Terrorgeist has the following rules. And so it's the same unit. Its entry that allows you to take it as a mount is in the unit's entry.
That's so weird.
And so
weird.
That's how it is, right? And so it's an old way that they write books, but it's just what it is. And so again, I want it to work to where it doesn't count either way, because if you go to the composition report of how your army is built, it says rare choice 0 to 2. I think if you don't take it in the rare choice, it doesn't count. I think that makes sense. But I have Googled it. I've gone to Reddit. I have checked the rules. I've checked the FAQs. I've checked the erratas. Nowhere does it talk about, does that change? And so my natural instinct was, it doesn't change because they don't mention that it changes. And so, but then everyone I found like that seemed to know what they were talking about said, absolutely it does not count. It only counts for ones taken as rare choices. I was like, okay. And he seems really confident and nobody corrected him. I was like, well, that makes sense. But then everybody else that seems to say that it does count seems less informed based on like their phrasing and their questions that are being asked. But again, I don't know. I think the only way to actually find out is pull up some like major tournament rosters and see what they do and see if any of them violate the rule and if nobody said anything. How about this? Go to your Square-based podcast, find their Discord channel, and ask them, because they clearly know more about this game than we do.
I can ask.
Yeah, you should do that. And you specifically ask for both if taken as an alternate choice or as a mount. Because there's also an issue with the whites in the Vampire Icon army, the Graveguard and the Black Knights.
Mm-hmm.
If you take a White Lord, you can take one unit as core. And there also is a 1 per 1,000. And so it's just kind of weird that your like basic elite troop, you can only take 2 total units of, when like, but both units could be like 1,000 points. It's just weird. Anyway, that was the old world talk I had that I meant to ask earlier. I just forgot.
I don't know. Interesting. That's such a weird corner case too. Because, like, that's the only army I can think of. I haven't read every single army list, but I read most of them. That's a thing. Because everywhere else treats mounts as a piece of equipment.
It's the only one I've seen you can take as 3 separate choices. Because it's either character, special, or rare.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other ones that do that. I do know that in the Chaos Warriors book, you can take a Manticore mount for your characters, or as a rare choice. I don't know if anything lets you take that as a separate unit. I would be surprised if it did. Anyway, I really hope it's the second way, because I think that is thematic and makes the most sense.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, let's get into our mission review of today.
Also, I find it funny, did I already say this, but Google thinks I'm asking about terrorists.
Yeah.
The Google eye is like, there are no terrorists in the old world. I'm like, that says terror geists. I don't care how many terrorists are in the old world.
Yeah. Yeah, gaming has definitely got me on some watch lists. I imagine half of their false alarms are just stupid ass fucking games that people are looking up. All right. So today we're looking at Intrusions open across city as seals collapse. This is a 9% play rate, which let me check the list. That's a reasonably high number, but not crazy high. It is the 4th most popular mission in all of Secures, which I actually find a little surprising. I think just because it's the only real low scoring Secure left, in my opinion. And it's also fighting oriented in addition to being low scoring. Yeah. Because like, I would say Mayor Fisk is also fairly low scoring, but it is not fighting central. Like, it is actually very anti-fighting. And Wedding Party is even more less fighting. Because anyone who you score is just going to move it away from them, because why would they let you keep attacking them while also scoring points?
Yeah, exactly.
So 3,471 plays. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I've always used Fisks as a way to slow down the game if I can. So It's like, cool, come, you can stand on it. I'll just push you off. I'm not scoring it. You're not scoring it. This game's going on longer. Longer
Yeah.
it goes, the more I kill you.
Can you even imagine what it's like to play an extract where 0 points were scored the whole game?
No, but I would like to.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think I would like to experience
also,
that.
your opponent can't steal yours.
Yeah, I think I would like to experience that.
Old Mystic Wakanda Nerves before Juggernaut came out was
Yeah.
basically unplayable for scoring lists.
Yeah.
It was the ultimate null zone, but Researcher wasn't out yet either, so it was like. But I remember there was games with people. I was like, "Why are you playing Wakanda Nerves?" Like, "Oh, I just don't want us to score extract points." It's like, "Oh, that makes sense." And we just end games like 11-9. Like turn 6 was 11-9. It's like, fuck me, what a world. Anyway, what's your thoughts on Intrusions?
I like Intrusions. I think I run it in almost every fighty list that I play. I like I like the higher threat. I like that it's lower scoring, and I find the interactivity part of it to not be that bad. And I think it actually makes for really interesting games, because I'm sure, dear listeners, you've all had that game where you roll to jump through a portal, you fail, you go somewhere else, you need to get to that other portal, you're trying not to burn an action, you roll again, you fail, your opponent goes, cool, go back to the first one, you can't do it anymore. And now you've got to like be like, okay, what are we doing here?
I do know that the odds of failing one of the rolls astronomically skyrockets after you fail one. The odds of failing 2 in a row is the same as failing one. Like, if you fail one, don't even try the second one. You're not going to make it.
If the game is on the line and you need to get through that portal, do not roll this dice, figure out something else. You will fail it.
Lie to your opponent that you have Rainbow Bridge. Like, there's
exactly.
no way it's going to work.
The dice gods listen on this one, and they wait for you to need it.
But I think
it is.
It's a 3 and 8 times 2. So here, I just want to do the math real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. I'll talk. I do think this is one of the more well-designed ones, because, like I said, it draws you all to be fighty. So
there's an 86% chance to succeed on one of the first 2 rolls.
Yeah.
Which changes to an 8% chance if it's the final turn of the game. It's like there's been so many times I've seen double fails on the final turn. So many times.
Yep.
Like, it seems more likely than not.
Actually, small antidote. I believe, Zach, if you hear this, I still owe you a Deadpool tattoo. B, I think it was actually on Intrusions, because he like failed his Deadpool roll, and so then he had to like move place, kill my model, get Dance Party to move and kill my other model, and like he tabled me when I could have won. I was like, no, let's see if you can do this, and he ended up getting it, and he like one-shot Malekith on his flip side. Like, it was like
I remember this game. Yeah.
Yes, because we were running around the store like, oh my god, so.
Have you ever played the board game Pandemic?
Is it very similar to the
Play
app?
Game? No.
The app?
Oh, I don't know. What is the app?
The app. There was an app called Pandemic, and you like build a virus, and you got to spread it throughout the world.
No, it's called Plague Inc.
Oh, that's Plague Inc. Yeah,
Plague Inc. Yeah. No, it's a board game it's a cooperative board game where you try to prevent a pandemic from taking over the world. There's basically these colored cubes. There's 4 different regions of the world map. Each one's a different disease. Every character has its own role. But anyway, the point is you have to cure the diseases, and then once you cure the diseases, you can like eradicate them. But you still have to fight them even though you've cured them. But the goal of the game is to cure all 4 diseases. The big part of the game, though, is that when a city gets so infected, it outbreaks, and it sends viruses to every adjacent city that can then cause outbreaks, and it'll just chain react. And if you have 3 cities next to each other that start outbreaking, they'll just infinitely chain into each other, and you ought to lose the game. The game is extremely difficult if you play it on hard mode, and you're frantically moving around the board, and like to cure disease, you need to draw 4 cards of the same color, and then play them. And it costs half your turn to play it.
Yeah.
But you draw at the end of your turn. So you can't cure disease unless you start your turn with the cure in your hand. So we're at the end of a game. We play this game constantly back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so my buddy goes to the bathroom and he's like, all right, normally we don't allow people to share information because the game gets really, I'm telling you what to do if you know what everybody's holding. So he goes to the bathroom and he's like, all right, this is the last turn because we're going to lose if we don't cure the disease. So everyone puts their hands down. We look at the board. We go, okay, we figure out there's only one mathematical way we can win because we look through the discard pile. He gets back. He's like, all right, what do we do? He's like, all right, you're going to move to here and you're going to draw the card Bogota. He's like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, is it the top card? He's like, we have no idea. We hope it is. He's like, how am I supposed to draw Bogota? Like, shut up and do it. Like, if you don't draw Bogota, we lose. And that way, someone's going to move to you and take the card from you and win the game. If you don't draw Bogota, we lose. And he's like, draws not Bogota. So we said it was his fault we lost because he didn't do his job. His job was to move 3 spaces and draw Bogota. It was amazing.
That's funny.
So I need more people to know this reference so I can just say draw Bogota when somebody's fucked. It's like, I'm in an unwinnable position. It's like, yeah, just draw Bogota. He's like, oh, I got it. Here you go.
Humorously enough, in a very similar theme, I was very briefly in a fraternity, and I introduced my fraternity to Munchkin, the base set, and they loved it. We would come back for after parties, and people wanted to play Munchkin. But we played so much that I memorized the deck, and we could count cards. So we'd be like, okay, okay, there's this many left in the deck. But there's a card called Divine Intervention, which is, as soon as it's drawn, it's played, all clerics go up 1 level. And you can use that card to win the game, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm playing, and we are down to, like, the last 2 cards in the deck. Or we're going to have to, like, shuffle, and, like, somehow nobody has won. And I have a remove curse. I think I have like 2 remove class curses or something like that. And me and my buddy are both clerics. We're both at level 9, so we can both like get the card to win. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So I play the first remove class. He blocks it with a wishing ring, which blocks curses. I play the second one, strip off, and then I go, okay, draw the card. Like, I end my turn. And he draws Divine Intervention. I win. Because I'm the only cleric on the board. It's like, yes, fuck you. I counted the cards correctly.
Alrighty. Back to our Intrusions talk. This is probably my favorite secure that's still legal. I think so, yeah.
I would agree. Like I said, it's on almost every list that I draw up that I'm trying to do fighty stuff. And sometimes not even that. I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a great fighting mission. Nobody can argue that.
I enjoy
it. It forces people to engage on the center line, giving you multiple opportunities to attack their models early in the game. It accelerates the game. It allows you to constantly reposition. It's just great at obviously attrition all the way around. The fact that there's no back point is kind of interesting because it really invalidates anyone who's not standing on the midline. So for all those reasons, obviously it's the best fighting secure. But on top of that, like, despite it being a like attrition heavy mission, it's not researcher, right? Like, it's not a mission where it's just massively one-sided, in my opinion. It's advantaged, but I think anyone who looks at this mission pack can say there's 7 or 8 heavily advantaged, scenario missions. It's like anything that's an F is a scenario mission. So we've got Scoundrels, we've got the 4 Fs on the red side, and then also Senators. Like, there's a huge amount of like heavy scenario missions. So this is pretty much the only attrition heavy mission left.
Yeah. I mean, not that a C is a reverse E, but in this instance, E's existed to draw people to the middle. This does the same one.
But it's elegant in the fact that if you do have, let's say I'm trying to fight you at all costs, right? And I want to move from one point to another point. Well, I have to drop my extract to do that. So I have to willingly make a choice to go try and kill you. But if I fail, then you can just go through the same portal I went through, land there, pick up the extract I drop, and move away, maybe into cover, out of line of sight. So it gives you counterplay that now it's like, well, now I can't place over there and attack you, and I gave up my extract token for trying. And so it just creates this like do or die situation where it's like if the player that has all the extracts is less mobile than the other player. So it's a somewhat comeback mechanic in that regard. I really like that elegance to it. That's not just murder house. It's like if I want to gain this mobility, I have to sacrifice for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm already noticeably behind because my opponent has all the extracts, I am now able to move freely and they are not. And so those are all great reasons I like the mission as well.
I agree. One of the better designed ones. I would be scoring this one very high. I have literally, I don't think of any complaints. Like, I'd play this one every time you put it down in front of me. I'd be like, cool, let's do it.
There are definitely games I'd rather
unless
not
I'm
play
playing Shield Gunline, and then I kind of need that mission to not exist, but that's a different thing.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're playing a game where you can't shoot in a melee, so you can still shoot. They're just stabbing you while you shoot them.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Where are we at on the list? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 missions left to review. Excuse me. I want to be done with the mission pack by Mini Extravaganza. And so we're going to record Mini Extravaganza that week. So we have 1, 2, 3 more weeks before Mini Extravaganza. So we are going to knock out the rest of these over the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to do our secure mission wrap up as well.
Perfect.
And so that will be a whole episode. Or do we want to just do all 6 remaining secures next week? We can then do a secure overview and then do a final crisis pack overview.
I think I would like a final crisis pack overview.
And where we talk about the mission pack as a whole and not just like the
mission
merits
pack as a
missions.
whole. Maybe paint with some broad strokes, but what we kind of think of the state of the mission pack is. And it will be good as a recap too, because I think it will be interesting to go back when we get the eventual all the new missions and they rotate all the ones that we have out. And do a little compare and contrast of like, okay, well, did we actually have it good and we just didn't know, or are we eating good now and the new missions are fantastic? So
let's plan on doing all 6 of the remaining secures next week, and if we decide to not do it the way we said, then we'll just push it and do 3. Cool. All right, so for the next 3 weeks, we're going to do a lot of mission talk, and then we're going to do a lot of news, hopefully, and then we'll see where it is after that. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time. This has been Brandon.
This has been Josh.
And you've just listened to Intrusions.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.